Hi, it's Andy Phillips here and welcome to the Campaign Ignition sequence. This is the 21-day business and digital marketing training from Campaign Builder Pro, and today it's day 16. Today we've got something very, very simple but very, very powerful, and that is automating follow-ups from personal contact. Now this could be when you're going to networking meetings, to shows, or even just getting chance meetings wherever you are. If you start talking to someone and they're interested in what you do, and you can get a business card off them, then we can start putting an automation sequence in place from a manual inclusion of that information, and that is really, really, really powerful. And the reason why it's really powerful is because we know that the secret to building a very, very successful business is information automation. The automation of information that's going to give you real, genuine engagement with the people that you meet at networking meetings or business shows or anything like that, chance meetings, whatever it is. Because we know for a fact, we talk to a lot of people about this, and at networking meetings, as a for instance, you'll pick up quite a few business cards. There's going to be lots of people who are going to be you'll be talking to, and you're going to pick up business cards from different people. And if you're pitching your product at a networking event and someone says, like, it sounds really interesting, I'd like to find out a little bit more. I said, well, give me your business card and I'll send you an email, and it'll have a link in there, and it'll give you a link to some more information about the products and services and how it can help you. So they give you the card. And at a typical networking event, you might pick up 10 or 15 cards. And you bring them home, you put them on the pile that you've already got on your desk. So you put these extra 10 or 15 on top of the pile, with all the best intentions as well to contact them tomorrow morning. But tomorrow comes and things happen, business happens, and they sit there and say, I'll do it the day after. And they tend to just sit there. And we've spoken to so many people who've literally got piles of cards on their desk that they've never done anything with. And then after a while, after sort of 6 months to a year, they just pick them all up and throw them away because they can't remember, if they were a prospect, if they were someone who's deadly interested, someone who was a service provider, or it could have been, it could have been anything. They don't really know what it is, so they have to throw them away. They can't really use them, or they can get someone to pile through them. But the opportunity's lost, and there is so much opportunity in just one business card. So this is the thing that we can do to enable us to automate that, do it completely on autopilot, so we don't have to worry about following up manually. All we've got to do is put details into a page, and that's it. So let's look at the process. So what we want to do, we just want to add a contact manually, tag them, and start automations. And it is so simple to do with ActiveCampaign. Here's the page that you would put the details in. And we're going to talk about the tags, and we're going to talk about the automations in a minute. But let's look at just the page that we put them in. When you come back from your networking meeting, you sit down and you just take the card out, and you put the email address in, you put the first name in, the last name in, the phone number, and you apply the tag. Now, we haven't created a tag yet, but you apply the tag that we're going to create. And that's it. Everything else is completely automated. The complete follow-up process is now on autopilot, and you'll be shocked how effective this is. Apart from taking people through an autopilot process that they don't know it's autopilot, they think that you're actually talking to them or engaging with them. But the amazing thing is the amount of sales that you can get because you've struck while the iron's hot is incredible. It's so, so powerful. So email, first name, last name, phone number, and then the all-important tag. So let's deconstruct this a little bit and exactly how this will work. We're going to create a tag which starts an automation. So we'll do that in a minute. I'll show you how to do that, and I'll show you how to create the automation. But this is the basics of how it works. Once you put that information in and the tag is applied and you save that contact, straight away what's going to happen is that ActiveCampaign will send them an email. Now, that email is really just an hello email. This will say something like, it was great to meet you the other day. I said I'd like to keep in contact, and I just want to give you some information and some idea of what we do and how I believe we may be able to help you. So a very, very simple email. You can also put a link in there. And that link can go through to a piece of content, and that piece of content can have a video with a how-to. This is what we do. So you can create it specifically for this process if you want. You may have a video that's already around, but you could create one which is specifically for this process and send them a page which is specifically designed for people that you meet at networking meetings. So apart from everything else, apart from just putting this on autopilot, it also shows people that you're incredibly professional. And professionalism builds trust. Now you could have a call to action on this, which goes through to a sales page, if you wanted to. And as we showed you yesterday, you can put a bit of script on there, which will, if they go to the thank you page of a sales process, for instance, it will tell ActiveCampaign that that person's been there and can stop an automation and start a new automation. So we could stop this whole automation if they purchase straight away. But what we'll do is we'll create another email, maybe send it 3 days later, and send them through to another piece of content. Now this could be a testimony, it could be a how-to video. It's just a simple bridge to offer sequence which has been created specifically for people you've met at networking meetings or at shows. So that's just a really simple one for prospects. But what if we wanted to create different tags for different contact types? Now we know that when we go to a networking meeting, you're going to get people who are vaguely interested in the sort of things you do. You're going to get their business card and their prospects, people that might be interested in what you do. But you've also got other types of contacts. You can have customers. You might have people that want to sell you stuff, so suppliers. You might have people that are really hot to trot. They love what you do. You might have even done a presentation or something like that, and they are real hot leads. So there's different types of contacts. So let's have a look at the way we can actually play this. If we've got a prospect tag, so we're going to do a very simple automation for prospects, just exactly how I explained it in the last slide. You've got a prospect automation, which is a typical bridge to offer sequence. But what if someone says to you at a networking meeting, do you know what, this is exactly what I want, I really need some information about this. So you say, give me a business card, I'll send you an email out where you can actually, what you can do with it, and then where you can go and buy it, and I'll even give you an offer. And so you send them to a completely different automation by giving them a different tag. You see how simple this is. Now this one is where you'd send them an email to start with, and that would go to a piece of information where they have a call to action at the bottom. That call to action goes through to the sales page, or a page specifically designed just to take the order. And as we said, we already have the technology that if they go to a specific page on your site, like a thank you page, a piece of script on that page can tell ActiveCampaign that it's been there, and we can stop this automation and start a new automation. Now if they don't buy it straight away, we can send them another email, and that can go straight to the sales page. So this is basically just doing a sale on autopilot. And the third automation you can do is a service provider, which is basically just an email saying, it's great to meet you yesterday, really interested in what you're doing, here's a bit of information about us and how you can get in contact with us. And that again could go maybe to your about page on your website, or you can have again something created specifically for these campaigns. So as you can see, this is incredibly powerful, a really powerful way of automating this whole process and using the business card from a networking event, which you normally don't follow up, and just putting it into this whole autopilot system. So let's have a quick look exactly how we'd do that. So the first thing you want to do in the whole process is to create the tags to start with. So let's go over to our spreadsheet, and what I've got here is I've got one that says personal contacts, and I've got personal as the tag name, but I've got networking prospect, I've got hot lead, and I've got service provider. Now you can see I've got these things in brackets. I've got P, HL and SP. Now these are the sort of things that what I do is when I get a business card, when I'm talking to someone, I get a business card, I just get a pen and write down it's either a prospect, a hot lead or a service provider. Or it could be something else. And then you can create another automation on the fly, new tag, and then create the whole thing and put that as a process as well. But you can set these ones up before you even go out. So you've got these three tags. So we want to copy these, and we're going to go into contacts, This is how we create our tags. Go into this manage scoring and go to manage tags, and we literally just paste those in there and add tag. And now we've got these 3 brand new tags sitting there. So that's the tags done. That's how simple it is to do the tags. Now all we do is we go over to automations and we create new automation, start from scratch. And the one we want to do is a tag is added. We go up here and we start typing in personal. Now you don't have to do the same regime as I do, but this has worked for me very, very well. So you can take it, use it how you want, but you just want to do things that are going to be very, very right for you and your business. You know, it's the way your head works more than anything else. This is the way my head works, where I've got a top title and then a little bit of a description of what it is I'm actually doing there. So I'm going to take this one and go to prospect first. So I'm going to create the prospect one, and I'm just going to do this once. I don't need to segment anything, so I'm just going to add start. So now the tag is added at the top here. And of course the first thing I want to do is send an email. So I'm going to do that, create an email. And I'm going to put something like great to meet you, and then put my name in there. Now this is just the title of the email. I mean, people won't see this actual one, but I like to keep my titles the same as what I'm actually going to call the email, so I can see this in the automation and it makes sense to me. Okay, now they're loaded. I'm just going to go to page 2. Now I basically know which one I want. I just want something very, very simple, so I'm going to use this design. I'm going to put the title in there, continue, and I'm going to quickly get rid of all this at the bottom here. Okay, so I'm going to copy some text that I prepared a little earlier, and I'm just going to stick it in here. Let's paste as plain text, and going to make this whole text a lot bigger. That's it, so it makes it nice and easy to read. I want to keep some gaps in this. Put my name down the bottom here. Now you can put a graphic at the top, a heading at the top, and things like that. But I like really at these very first emails to just be very, very normal emails, so like a text email that you'd normally send out to someone. So we're going to put a link in here, and the one I'm going to choose, the page I'm going to choose, is just an email. You've seen these campaign ignition emails or videos, so I'm just going to take a page which has got the email in it, and I'm going to put this in. Now I could add an action. I can add another tag if someone's actually viewed that, but I'm not going to do that for now. I'm just going to make that bold. And that's it. That's my email that I want to keep. So I'm going to save and exit. Now what you'd do is you'd put a time frame in, so work conditions, you want to wait for a certain amount of time and that sort of thing. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can wait, you can put another email, put another email, send them out to different things and create a bridge to offer sequence, which we've done in the past. So I'm not going to do all that right now, because I'll make sure that this is an active automation. I'm going to change the name here so I know which one it is. I'll save that. And that's it. So if we go back to automations, we'll find that we've got that, and it's down here. It's down the bottom of the page there. There it is. So we know we've got that, we know it's active, and we can carry on and create the other automations as well So this is one we've done, but you can create the other ones, the hot lead one, everything else. You can create all those automations. And once we've done all that, all we do is we go to contacts. So now we've gone to our business meeting, we've picked up our cards, and we're going to add them into the system. And you can add contacts by clicking on the add contact here, and you can put a contact profile in, and you can add a tag in later. However, the best way of doing this is to close that, and if we go down to, or over to this where it says manage scoring, click on that and go to manage tags again, and then open the add contact. It goes to the add contact page, which is a much better way of doing it, because now you can put the email, first name, last name, phone number, and the tag, and put an email address in here. So now I've added the an email, my name, my telephone number, and all I've got to do now is put the tagging. So if I just start typing in the beginning of the tag. Okay, now I want to click on the network prospect, and I want to add, and it's saving contact added. And what will happen is that the email will go out almost immediately. It might take a few minutes to actually go out to the client, but it will go out straight away rather than wait for any specific time. So now if you go over to the contact that you've sent out, I will start building the actions list, and you can see that it was ascribed to a list main by the admin, so that was me. I put that in, and it's entered an automation which went straight out. So it would it says completed automation because there was only one thing that went straight away, and it says sent campaign, great to meet you. So there we go. So basically that's all you need to do, and you can do that with every single card that you send through, and this is obviously the email that gets sent out. So you can see it's really simple. But what it will do is it will automate that whole process and just make your life so much easier. So try that out.